Well, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to step number 2 in your journey to your best self, finding your strength and joy through your style. As a reminder, I am doing these videos from home, so my apologies ahead of time if you hear my daughter or if my dog starts to bark because that's home. Like I said. So we are on step number 2 now, find my shape. Samantha. Sorry. In this section, find my shape, what we're going to do is we are going to determine your silhouette. I'm sure through the years you've heard various descriptions of, the apple, the pear, blah, 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 blah. I don't necessarily subscribe to those labels on different silhouettes, primarily because I think we've evolved past pieces of fruit. And everybody has a different interpretation on what those pieces of fruit kind of are shaped like. And then there's people like me that become way bogged down in details. Like if you would tell me I was a pear, I'd want to know what kind of pear. I'd want to know, is it the Asian pear? Is it Basque? Is that how you say it? Basque pear? Is it one of the yellow pears? Or is it more like one of the brown pears? Right? Stop the insanity. So let's talk about how to determine your shape. There are a couple different graphs and charts that I've given you in this step. So if you look on page 24 and 25, those are some ways that you can start to kind of narrow down what your shape is. Now, your shape is determined simply by the way that your muscle, your tissue, blah, 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 your skin, the way that it sits on your skeleton. It doesn't have anything to do with how much you weigh or don't weigh right now. And it doesn't have anything to do with how tall you are. This is simply the way that your muscle and your skin and tendons and all that sort of thing, the way that it is distributed on your skeleton. So, having said that, some people, when they gain weight, they'll only see a weight gain primarily in certain areas of their body. Some people will never see a weight gain like through their legs. Or some people, if they gain weight, they feel like it's pretty even head to toe. Other people, when they gain weight, it's like, oh, it's all in my face, my neck, and eyes, all up in here. Or it's only in my hip area. Those different nuances help determine what your shape is. Now, we all have an opinion what our shape is, and I'll tell you what's so funny is the women that I've consulted with over the 20 years of my career, so many women think that they're a pear, which pear shape is basically an A shape. It's a very uncommon shape. But most women is, oh yeah, I'm very bottom heavy. And so they dress themselves thinking that that is their shape, and that's not the case at all. So I want you to put aside any preconceived idea of what you might think your shape is, and I want you to get a tape measure. If you don't have a tape measure, then you can use like a piece of string and then just measure it against a ruler. And this might be something you might need a little help with. But for the most part, you can probably do this for yourself. So there are 3 measurements that you need to take. 2 of them you can do yourself. One of them might be a little bit more difficult. So I want you to take a measurement. The first one I want you to take is right at the small of your waist. So like right where you would put your hand on your hip, or like when you bend, like right where that bend is. So if you're looking yourself in the mirror, it's really your smallest measurement between your shoulders and your knees. So I want you to take a measurement right around your midsection. Then I want you to take a measurement around your hip area. So this is going to be a measurement that's right at the widest part of your hip, around your booty, around your backside. And I want you to write those numbers down. So you're going to write down this number, and you're going to write down the number of your hip. The other number that I want you to take a measurement of, this is the one you might need some help with, is going to be around your shoulders. So when you take this measurement, I want to make sure that that measuring tape or string or whatever you're using is straight across the front and the back. And I want you to take it here, right where that muscle is, right where like that your arm kind of bumps back in right here, right across here, across the top of your back. So that's going to be like right where your shoulder blades. So around your shoulder blades, straight around the front. and then write that number down. Let's use those 3 numbers initially to try to determine what your shape is. So using those 3 numbers and using the charts here that I've given you on page 24 and 25, we should be able to determine what your shape is. Now on page 23, I've given you a lot of different measurements that you can take. If you have help, it'd be a good idea just to take some of these measurements down. Reason being, then you have those measurements. So if you're ordering something from an online catalog, they always have those size charts. You always wonder, you know, I'm between 2 sizes, I'm not sure how this would fit. That will give you, you know, a guide to figure out what size might be best for you, if you should size up or size down, just so you have it. If you don't have help to get all those measurements, it's not a big deal. We just really need those 3. After taking those 3 measurements, looking through 24 and 25, if you have no idea what your shape is, that's when you jump on our Facebook group and Angie and I can help you. If need be, we can do a live FaceTime call with you to try to figure out what your shape is. This is something that I think is very important because really this is going to be one of the foundations to the entire rest of the book, and really is key to you feeling the best that in your clothes. This is so important that I want you to really determine what this is. So at the end of this particular step, we will figure out if you are an X, a Y, no, an X, a V, a Y, an X, a V, an A. Oh gosh, now I just had a brain fart. X, H, B, V, or an A. That's where we're going to figure out if you are one of those. If you're an X shape, you are even between here and your hip. If you are an H shape, you're a pretty straight up and down. If you are a B shape, no matter how much weight you gain or lose, you're always going to have boobs, belly, and a booty. If you are a V shape, your shoulders are very strong. You have narrow hips, and you probably have very strong calf muscles. If you are an A shape, this is somebody that has very narrow shoulders, very slight in their top half, but their bottom half is bigger, where their hips are going to be the biggest measurement. If you are an A shape, finding pants is difficult for you. If you are a V shape, you know that your legs are your best asset. If you are a B shape, you know you've got junk in your trunk. You know that. You know you've always been blessed with lots of different curves, right? If you are an H shape, you know you've always been pretty straight up and down. You might not have a lot of stuff going on in the boob area. You might be fairly small busted, and you're straight up and down. You don't have a very defined waist. And if you're an X, you probably know that too. You're gaining weight evenly head to toe. You know you've got pretty much a girly figure too. Okay, so in a nutshell, those are the different shapes. At the end of this, once we determine what your shape is, use the code that you were given in the initial email that you received when you signed up for this program, and go back to the shop section on my website and order the silhouette book that corresponds with your shape. Now, the code that you were given will only work one time, and the code will give you the ability to download that PDF for free. Okay? Can't wait to hear what questions you have, and I'll see you on the Facebook page.